Here's another late development, and this news keeps coming in as we're talking here.
This was a long week, extremely long week, and I'm just happy. I didn't really want to even do this show, but like, shout out to Keisha for talking me into it, because I was sitting here thinking like, man, I really don't want to talk about, like, not even like not talk about nothing, but it was just like, I didn't want to go over this. But you know what? Keisha brought it to my attention. I thought it was worth it. She thought it was worth it. So here we are. So shout out to Keisha for giving me that motivation. Sometimes you need a kick in the rear, man. Sometimes you need a kick in the rear. But let's get into it. All right. Let's talk about his name's no longer Sleepy Joe. Joseph Robinette Biden. Ribbinet, as our long lost co-host likes to say. We miss you dearly, Eric. Please come back to us. I'll give you whatever you need to be on the show. Come back to us, Eric. We miss you. But let's talk about Joe Biden real quick, all right? If you know me, you know I don't really care too much about Joe Biden. He was an ends to a means for a lot of people. But in his first 51 days in office, that old man's been moving. Now, a lot of people are sitting here saying, but what about this? What about that? Hey, slow your fucking roll, all right? Slow up. Let's talk about what's important. The number one thing on his plate right now is slowing the progression of the slowing the progression of COVID. He's trying to corral that, and desperate as Texas is to ruin this, and Mississippi and Florida and Georgia are to ruin this for him, he's reaching out and he's grabbing people. But besides relief, the number one thing after getting a hold of COVID was to get the American people some support. And Joe did it for us, man. He came through with a $1.9 trillion rescue package. Too often in our world, Democrats are constantly berated because they spend too much money, when we know the biggest spenders of our government are Republican minds. Check the recession. Who gets us out of recessions? Democrats. Who gets us into them? Republicans. It's like 9-2. Don't at me, at your mama. But the facts are, we have to come to terms with this. We have to figure out a way of dealing with this, or we're not going to be able to move forward. And the biggest cause for underperformance when trying to get out of a basically a deficit like this is lack of spending in the beginning. If you don't spend the money up front, then you don't get the money, then you won't get out of debt fast enough. And that's something that you have to be inherently comfortable with and understand. If you don't spend the money up front, you'll never get out of this slump. So with that in mind now, so of course, what are we going to do? How are we going to make money? How are we going to get our economy on track? Well, in order for the people to spend money, you got to give them money. And that's what Joe Biden and company's done. So let's take a quick look at some videos real quick. Let's see where we're really at in the world. And let's get a better understanding of how Joe Biden's plan has come to task.
Good afternoon, and we're coming on the air because right now President Biden is set to sign his landmark $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill. You see the president there in the Oval Office. Let's listen.
The weeks that this bill has been discussed and debated, it's clear that an overwhelming percentage of the American people, Democrats, independents, or Republican friends,
Nafi, we do not have unlimited paper. That's not how that works.
The people out there made it clear they strongly support the American Rescue Plan. Yesterday, with the final passage of the plan in the House of Representatives, their voices were heard and reflected in everything we have in this bill. And I believe this is, and most people I think do as well, this historic legislation is about rebuilding the backbone of this country and giving people in this nation, working people, middle-class folks.
And just a heads up, some people have already started getting their checks, man. Check your direct deposit, because they're actually pushing these checks out before. So if you're like trying to scramble, oh, should I file my taxes to get money, or should I do this? Just wait. Joe Biden's giving you money. Your taxes might be a little bit late for all you people that didn't file in the beginning, because Treasury and IRS are trying to push these out the door. So people are already getting their checks. Like people have already started to see like the draft for it. Like if you have like Charles Schwab or like a TD Ameritrade or something like that, you'll start to see the drafting, like a pending transaction from the U.S. Treasury, and that's this check.
People who built the country a fighting chance. That's what the essence of it is. And I'm going to have a lot more to say about that tonight and the next couple of days, and be able to take your questions. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is sign this bill and make the presentation tonight, and then there's going to be plenty of opportunities. We're going to be on the road, not only talking about what I'm talking about tonight is the impact on the virus and how we're going to end this pandemic.
And let's stop it there. So this morning when I started, like, you know, doing my rounds around conservative media and hearing how people are going to make this into an issue, it's not, the VP has no bearings on this. You know, I will say this though, a lot of people have been wanting Kamala Harris to show her friends, but you're never going to see Kamala Harris in the news because the VP is a shadow ruler. You got to follow the VP on her own thing. She's doing her own thing and she's doing a lot. But when you compare the two, the president is always going to get the Trump card in that shit. But straight up, I am very interested to see how people are saying that this bill is giving money, unjust amounts of money to Mexico, to illegal immigrants. As quickly as one thing disappears is as quickly as it comes back for the Republican Party. Remember when the Republican Party said they built the wall? All the illegal immigrants are gone. But Greg Abbott says that if you get COVID in Texas, it's because you got it from an illegal immigrant. What happened to the wall? The story, the dynamics, and everything changes based on what you're trying to pitch to your some, for Republicans at least, your some cause losers. So the new story is this stimulus bill gives undocumented immigrants money. And just saying that out loud should be enough for your brain to equate that isn't logically possible, because you need to have a EIN number or a social security number. And if you are an illegal immigrant who has fake papers, it's not impossible. When your employer sends your papers to you, as long as you don't collect, you'll never get caught. Because the gist is, why would and this is something that a lot of people don't understand. The American government makes hundreds of thousands upon millions of dollars off of illegal immigrants' backs because they get taxes deducted, Social Security deducted from their checks. And at the end of a cycle, we all who are citizens, we get to file our taxes and get that money back, some of that money back. But those illegal immigrants who are working illegally here don't get to taste that money, even though they paid into it. An estimated $23 million. And that's because we literally don't know. My point is that they're not going to see any of that money. So relax, Republicans. Relax. Take it easy. That money's for us. You notice us? It's for us. And not even all of us, because if you making like $75,000 and you ain't got no kids, you ain't getting nothing. If you don't got no kids, you ain't getting no money. That's what I heard. I ain't got no kids, so I ain't getting no money. If there was ever time I wanted a kid to knock on my door and say, "Hey, Papa," probably yesterday would have been the best day for it, but it didn't happen. So I got to push forward. Another thing that you got to be really interested to see is, let's talk, the breakdown of it, shall we? Like, let's get to this screen real quick and let's talk about a little bit about the breakdowns, because what you don't see or hear them talking about in excess, which is kind of baffling to me. It's not baffling because you know what it's all about, right? You know that they have an agenda. You know they have an alternative facts, as I like to call it, that they want to push on you, right? So I went and found by the CAP, the people who are in charge of tasking and figuring out how this money is going to be broken down, to see exactly who gets what and where the money goes. And if you look right up here in the top left corner, it says illegal immigrants will get $40 billion. Oh, wait, no, sorry. That says renters and homeowners. Damn it. Okay, my bad. That was my bad. I got dyslexia, maybe. Here goes one. I know for sure. This one says Vietnam. Vietnam gets $17 billion. Foreigners, man, getting 17. Oh, guys, that says veterans. Silly me. That says veterans. Why would I? There has to be something on here. Here it goes. $176 billion going to the Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation to spread their vaccines all over the world. Oh wait, what? No, that's $176 billion for vaccinations and healthcare. What about the 1,400 checks? Oh wait, that's going back to us because it's not going to Mexico. I can do this all day. I literally have nothing else to do. My point is, farmers, FEMA, unemployment insurance that was set to expire this month, and all those other things will be happening. And it'll be happening for us. And you have to remember, this went through with no Republican approval. Even though if you look down here, tax credits, AIDS, child care, so they got a small piece of this. The tax credits will definitely benefit them. But they didn't get anything. The reason why this took so long was because we were literally arguing with Democrats. And I have a great video coming out next week sometime about the 8 Democrats who basically stopped minimum wage from going to $15. And just from the baseline research, I could tell you one person refused to sign the bill to get people $15 minimum wage, but in 2010 he was willing to increase the minimum wage to $10. Like, it's ass backwards how quickly Democrats fall on their own sword. But let's push forward, because I want to also talk about Biden got us this great piece of news, but where is it? Let me switch up screens real quick so I can find it. Biden also did us one other solid. He might be able to get us outside sooner than ever before, right? We might be going back outside, y'all. Let's find out why.
I want to talk about the next steps we're thinking about. First, tonight, I'm announcing that I will direct all states, tribes, and territories to make all adults, people 18 and over, eligible to be vaccinated no later than May 1. Let me say that again. All adult Americans will be eligible to get a vaccine no later than May 1.
So this is huge. This is huge in the words of our old predecessors. Like, May 1st. What's that, the 5th month of the year? We already 3. That's 2 months. We already halfway into 3. We can go outside, y'all. I can go back to the streets. They've been calling me, and I ain't been picking up my phone. Sleepy Joe, tell me what's up.
That's much earlier than expected.
Damn right.
Let me be clear. That doesn't mean everyone's going to have that shot immediately, but it means you'll be able to get in line beginning May 1. Every adult will be eligible to get their shot. And to do this, we're going to go from 1 million shots a day that I promised in December, before I was sworn in, to maintaining, beating our current pace of 2 million shots a day, outpacing the rest of the world. Secondly, at the time when every adult is eligible in May, we will launch, with our partners, new tools to make it easier for you to find the vaccine and where to get the shot, including a new website that will help you first find the place to get vaccinated and the one nearest you. No more.
This is also very important. Being able to find where to get the vaccine has almost been as hard as finding out who is allowed to get the vaccine. Since every state has different rules and regulations, this gives us a level playing field where everyone understands the rules. It's one simple procedure and we all can do it. Furthermore, there's literally, I tried to sign up using the public method. I got my shot through my employer. But if you use the public method, you literally have to go to 5 different websites. 5. You first need to put in for your state. You need to put in for your local city, your county. Then you need to find a clinic. Then you need to see if that clinic actually accepts insured. And that's another gimmick because other clinics were trying to charge people. You do not pay for the vaccine. You do not pay for anything that comes in returns and relates to the vaccine. So if you're going to go get your shot, in the process of you going to go get your shot, if you're using this to go get it while you're getting your checkup, make 2 separate appointments because they're going to try and charge you for that shit. The shot should be free.
More searching day and night for an appointment for you and your loved ones. Thirdly, with the passage of the American Rescue Plan, and I thank again the House and Senate for passing it, and my announcement last month of a plan to vaccinate teachers and school staff, including bus drivers, we can accelerate massive nationwide effort to reopen our schools safely and meet my goal that I stated at the same time, about 100 million shots, of opening a majority of K through 8 schools in my first 100 days in office. This is going to be the #1 priority of my new Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona. Fourth, in the coming weeks, we will issue further guidance on what you can and cannot do once fully vaccinated to lessen the confusion, to keep people safe, and encourage more people to get vaccinated. And finally, fifth, and maybe most importantly, I promise I will do everything in my power. I will not relent until we beat this virus. But I need you.
I need
the American
you.
people. I need you.
I
need every American to do their part. And that's not hyperbole. I need you. I need you to get vaccinated when it's your turn and when you can find an opportunity.
I need you now.
And to help your family, your friends, your neighbors get vaccinated as well. Because here's the point. If we do all this, if we do our part, if we do this together, by July the 4th, there's a good chance you, your families and friends will be able to get together in your backyard or in your neighborhood and have a cookout.
What's
or a
up, Twisted
barbecue and
Texas?
Celebrate Independence
I don't
Day.
know, bro. The algorithm
That
hates
doesn't
me.
mean large events.
Okay. Hey, shout out to Twisted Text Extra. And nobody got the notifications, but that's why it's important for y'all to share, like, and subscribe, man. Hopefully I can get off this shadow ban that I'm on. But this is important as well because you want to know something that you can enjoy about Joe Biden. I don't know if it's because of his gullible, his glazed over look or his very fragile demeanor, but he's total trash. But you under promise and over perform. You give them 10 weeks to do a project, but you submit it on week 1. That way you never have to worry about tripping yourself up. This is considerably polar opposite of what we got with the last administration, where it was, I am the best. I am God's gift to you guys. Hear me roar. And, oh, by the way, we only got 800,000 vaccines out when the preliminary vaccines were rotating out. So what was the point of all that? Me Hear me. Beat chest, roar. It doesn't make sense. You have to be very practical about these things, because when you're talking to a group of people like he is right now and all the American people, he has an obligation to adhere to the common denominator. As you identifiers who are so special in my group understand, you are above the food chain. But there are people out there who were cursing at the screen right now saying that he didn't give enough credit to Trump. Go fuck yourself. What credit? 500,000 people died on his watch. Trump literally is responsible for an American version of genocide almost. Like, to have a president responsible for the death of so many of his own people without a bomb going off, without a gunshot going off. If you had told me 500,000 people died in 1 year in America, I would have been like, damn, they bombed us. But that's the reality. That's the stark reality we have to deal with. Trump got his vaccine after he caught COVID, but he was still telling people out there not to thank the Biden administration, not to wear a mask. The simplest of simplest. We can go over this thing over and over again. But the point is, for Joe Biden's first 52 days, you know what? If guys in chat, what are we ranking his ass right now? What are we ranking Biden? His first 51 days, Biden, what do you give him on a scale of 1 to 10? Because me personally, while I don't necessarily agree with some of the things he's put his focus and energy into, it still doesn't stop the fact that, you know, we're going to have enough vaccines in late July to have every adult vaccinated. So I personally give him an 8 because there's a clear, distinct drop-off. We see that, we hear that, we know that. It's provable. It's like tangible. It's like we can see what happens when we have a leader versus when we don't have a leader. But that's just me. But let's see what we got right now. Okay, Nafi with a 7. Keisha, you gave him a 4? Come on now. He's still in first 50 days, gave him 4. He has his approval ratings like at a 68 or something. Come on. I feel like he jagged on the student loan issue. There's time for the student loan issue, but once again, do you think that he can do that? I don't believe he's good for that. I don't think he's going to be good for that. But if that's what you believe, for sure. Twisted 10. He gave his ass a 2. Hey, what up, Jay White? I see you in here. I appreciate you coming through. We got 10 people watching, man. That's awesome. So if all y'all are liking and sharing on YouTube, then I should at least have 10 likes on this video. That's just all that's all I'm just assuming right now. I see 2 people watching on Eric's stream, 1 person watching with me, 2 people watching with 4 people on YouTube. Shout out to that. But hey, you know what? Guys? I'm okay with that. But I appreciate you guys hanging on. Well, let's go to more comments real quick. He's still a white man. He's still a white man in office when we have ever really been for us. Has it ever really been for us? I don't know. I think once again, Keisha, you have a point, but I think you're trying to fight the wrong fight with you. You're not going to win that fight with him. You gotta be realistic with your expectations when you're dealing with woke Joe. And yeah, and that's what the purpose of AOC and the squad is for. So that's been my thoughts on it. Damn it, I got to do the rundown. This is where I really miss Eric, guys. Can I have a quiet moment with you right now? Can I have a moment with you guys right now? I never prepare for these things. Eric is the structure. He's the backbone of this organization. And when he's not here, talking into this camera in this void of a room that I call a man cave, it's a little unsettling. But I want you to know I'm happy because I have you guys here. You guys complete me. And I appreciate y'all for that. So if you could like, share, subscribe, join the channel on any platform, preferably YouTube, preferably Twitch. We have a goal. If we get one sub on each one person to sub on Twitch, one person to sub on YouTube, I'll open up the phone lines and we'll have a booth after dark. But that's the rules, man. Let's make it happen. On top of that, we are also the sponsors now for, officially the sponsors now for, ooh, can I find this? Yeah, I have it. I can show you guys. We're the sponsors. Hold on. I want to show you guys because I'm proud of myself. We are now officially sponsoring the Endurance 24 Challenge. Yes, that's right. You heard me. I'm going to be running 24 miles. I'm really not going to be, but I'll be running. I'll be hoping to see one of y'all run. And if you do decide to run, you'll be part of the E24 sponsorship. Yeah, that's us down there. You feel us? That's right. We doing it big. So if you're interested in donating to a cause, this link will actually be in the description of any video you're watching right now. It's the Endurance E24 Challenge. If you do decide to participate, you can actually run with us live, and I will be tracking it tomorrow morning. In fact, that's starting at 6:30 in the morning. Russo and Altenberg, who are going to be raising this money, are going to be running 16 miles tomorrow. So if you want to be there for the live stream tomorrow for that, to like just take part in that, you can join in with this link and you can donate and become and get a medal. You'll get a shirt and you'll do all the things that are part of it. So like it's super like exciting because it's getting really serious. We're getting some sponsors now, so I'm really excited to see how this goes. But if you're interested, please like, share, subscribe, and make sure that you guys do your part to add to this.
Seems like every night, don't care who's wrong or right. I hope that in the side, slow it down and we can catch the vibe. But it's so hard to find through the daily grind, been working overtime. And I'm sleep deprived, shorty on my line and we fuss and fight. Seems like every night, don't care who's wrong or right. I hope that in the sight, slow it down and we can catch the vibes.